It was a magical place, we were on our way there.
It's the end of an era, one of the most recognizable names in American retail.
Thrilled generations of children.
This is the Lego set that I got.
But the shelves at Toys R Us stores across the country are now bare.
It's something that I grew up with, and to see it now empty, it's just sad and heartbreaking.
With catchy jingles and a logo a child might write, Toys R Us grew to revolutionize retail in the decades that followed.
Toys R Us was the largest toy retailer for a good chunk of its 70-year history, and it was iconic in many ways.
But the company eventually fell on hard times. Attempts to alleviate mounting debt failed, and the once dominant brand declared bankruptcy.
A combination of the structure of the company plus the advent of an online shopping universe just made survivability impossible.
This is actually a special podcast, and we're in the thick of it. We're talking toy stores, memories of the 90s, and the destruction of our dreams. Memory-wise, so whenever my grandmother would come into town, we always knew that no matter what, because we were her grandkids, it didn't matter, we were getting $25. And at that time, in the 90s, $25 got you pretty far when it came to toys or figurines. So we would get the money, and then we didn't go to KB Toys or Toys R Us often. There was this other place, I think it was called like Grand Mountain Toys or something. Like, it was just a weird building. It was kind of in the shape of a mountain in the middle of a plaza right next to like a Lady Jane's. Before it was like the first Lady Jane's, Red Wing shoe store, and then you had an Outback Steakhouse right next door. So you get your toys, and then you get your Awesome Blossom, and then you were on Easy Street
for the rest of the day. That sounds amazing.
And then diarrhea right after that.
Yeah, right after that.
That sounds like a local store. That toy store was that local? That wasn't.
Yeah, that was on Hull Road. If you guys don't know Hull Road, it's got a little, what is it? Macomb County decided to spend $300,000 on an art installation, which is now titled The Golden Butthole. I think some people know that. Have you guys ever seen The Golden Butthole?
No. I want to.
Yeah, it's not J-Lo's booty, but it's just a big gold ring in the middle of the highway, right on the median. And then if you go like past that a little bit, the sign says, welcome to, I think it's Sterling Heights or Macomb Township or something like that. Welcome. And then it's a tinier butthole. So it's like a puppy butthole. Right, John?
I'll take your word for it.
I've gotten up close and personal with puppy buttholes.
Hey, guys, we're back. All of us. Talking about buttholes.
The three amigos.
The three amigos. Yes. We're back. Now I know we're back. We're talking about buttholes in the first 5 minutes of the show.
Oh, hell yeah. There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
We're back.
So
no rust at all.
I want to say, for me, my memory of going to a toy store was going to Toys R Us.
I don't want to grow up, don't want to grow up. I don't want to grow up, don't want to grow up. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. From bike to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is. I don't want to grow up, 'cause if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. I don't want to grow up, don't want to grow up. I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
I want to talk about KB Toys, but I loved Toys R Us. It was fun. It was the place you want to go. The jingle was everything. You know, I don't want to grow up, because if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid. Like, had all that. You had Jeffrey the giraffe, or Joffrey, however you want to call it.
Joffrey.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I enjoyed myself thoroughly. My dad would take me, even though he did not like us spending money on toys, because, you know, there's other things he wanted to do on a Sunday afternoon. But we went. I remember one time I went and I bought Alien from Independence Day, Alien Soldier, and I bought a Transformer, Beast Wars Transformer. It was a gray wolf.
Fuck yeah.
And it was a good day that day. So I thoroughly enjoyed being there and having fun. Toys R Us also had an area where you could play games. So like they had the game set up for different consoles, where you could sit there and you could play a demo of the game. Maybe it wasn't a demo, maybe it was the whole game. You could just sit there and play.
Do you guys know what store started at? Like started like demoing like video game consoles.
Funkoland or Radio Shack, I thought.
Was it? I think it was Radio Shack, because when Nintendo came out, weren't they selling that stuff? And then Radio Shack did it.
Yeah.
And then after Nintendo, I don't know. I don't remember them doing it with the Genesis. I remember when PlayStation came out. They did?
Yeah.
No, I think you are right. I think I even remember like malls, like JCPenney in the mall. They would do that too. A lot of the games I would play was at the JCPenney one, because if you go to the game store, it wasn't as easy to play those games because it was packed with kids trying to play. But if you go to like JCPenney's, you can kind of get a easier route to the games because not a lot of kids were trying to play there, even though they sell toys too for a while.
JCPenney's did sell a lot of toys for a while.
Remember the catalogs? Shit.
Yeah,
man.
They had the catalogs.
Those Christmas catalogs, man.
Christmas catalog.
I used to love that shit. That was like,
yeah.
Okay, that was going to sound weird. I was going to say like kid porn, but
no, the lingerie section was kid porn.
No,
they'd be like, oh my god, booby. I can kind of. Is that a booby? No, it's bra, but it's booby. It looks like a booby.
But I didn't mean sexually. I meant like starting. I remember getting the catalog well before Christmas and just already starting my Christmas list just by looking at what was in that catalog. Like, oh shit, that's coming out in December. Oh, I'm putting that on the list now.
Oh, my mom would see it come, like when it came in, she would take it and just garbage.
The catalog?
Yep. Like once or twice. I think she did it twice, because when we saw it, it's like, oh, I want that Power Ranger. I want that Power Ranger. I want the dragon.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Like I want this and that.
Did you cut out the pictures? I used to just start doing that because I didn't want my mom to get it wrong. So I would I would write it and then I would cut the picture out and put it on there. But she started getting mad, like, motherfucker, like this catalog all tore up and shit. But but that
just sticking together.
Yeah, whatever. Dude, I was like, I stopped looking at the catalog probably when I was like 9 or 10. I don't remember. Like as soon as I went to middle school, I was getting bad grades, so I didn't even bother like even trying to ask for anything. Everything was a gift. But my point is, that ended in 2009. Like, of course, like every major like catalog distributor, they just switched to electronic stuff, so everything's available online now. But
yeah,
that sucks, man. I like having the physical copy of things, even if they just become like a paperweight.
I was gonna say, some would say that that's why some of these companies failed, but a little later on, we'll explain why they failed, because they were making money.
Yeah,
and, it's called capitalism. A dark side of capitalism.
USA. USA.
USA. Most of my memories of like going to the toy store was like, so if I do this with my kids will ask like, oh, what's that? I've never been. My son, this is what he'll do. Is like, I've never been there before. I'm like, oh, that toy store over there. You've never been there before? Oh, well, we should go. I talked to him like, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't talk to him like this. Like, maybe we should go because you've never been there before. I've never been to the moon. Maybe I should go.
What a dick.
He's gonna do it to his kids when he gets older.
But does he understand sarcasm yet?
Oh yes, yeah, 100% he does, because his dad's like one of the most sarcastic people on the face of the planet. And I remember I would be like, "Hey, Mom, let's go over there." And she'd be like, "I'm not getting you a toy. You can go in there, but I'm not getting you a toy." And then it's, the whole manipulation thing. You grab it, it's like, "Oh, Mom, look at this. X-Men toys. I can't believe they have these." And then she's like, "Well, you'd have to, work to earn it." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know. I really like it, but you can't get it. It's okay." And then she's like,
yeah.
"Okay, let's just get it. And then you got to work for this, though." And you're like, okay. And then I would just go home and eat myself some Haagen-Dazs and sit on my fat ass.
So I wasn't the only. I wasn't the only one running that scam. That was
in all moms' playbooks, I believe. Yeah. That was all moms like, you can go, but you're not getting anything. Get a toy.
Yeah, it's like the same thing where it's like if your mom says no, you just ask your dad, "Hey, Dad, can I go?" Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ask your mom. Yeah, she said yeah. That's fine.
Dad said I can go out if you said it was okay.
And then it's a confusion play.
Yeah.
You pit them against each other, and then guess what, guys? Divorce.
I tell you, we went to a toy store once when I was young. My mom saw, I think I told this story before about a ball that I wanted. It was some sort of ball.
This checks out. This checks out because you're a dog, right?
Yeah. So it was a ball or something, like one of those. I want to say it was one of those. What were those, gross balls or something like that? I forget.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not a squeaky toy or anything.
No, not a squeaky toy.
That's the last one.
No, not a squeaky toy. But it might have been a squeaky toy. It may have been. So anyway, my dad was like, "Don't give him that because he's going to want to keep it the entire time." So long story short, we were getting to the end of the store and we were done. She was checking out and my dad tried to take that ball away from me and I bit him like hard on the nose. I bit him and my dad was like, "Motherfucker." And,
you've told me this story before, but it's even funnier at the fact that you're a dog.
Yeah.
You're really leaning into this one. All right.
Yeah, it adds into it. And he bit me back on the nose. So he bit me back. And everyone looked at him like in disgust. And he was like, "Well, I bet you won't bite anybody again." So yeah, it was just one of those things that happened. And I've passed that on to my son. So
has your son bit you yet?
You bit him off.
No, he never did that. No,
he hasn't done the right.
I've never had a reason.
No reason to nip or growl at him.
Nip or growl at him. Because the thing is with him, we kind of come to an agreement. Because my son, he doesn't like hard toys. He likes plush toys for some reason. He just loves the feeling of plush toys. So animals that he's looking at on TV or something like vultures and tarantulas and stuff. He loves that type of stuff. So
nice.
Yeah, it's something that he collects and he plays with, but dragons, especially dragons, like he loves all kinds of dragons. So we'll see how it goes with this Jurassic World Dominion, because Target is become the new mainstream toy store right now. So,
yeah, technically. That's whenever we go toy shopping, it's usually Target. So when I go there, because I don't know how you guys are, like if you go to a store, you automatically think that you have to buy your kids some. I'm not like that.
Yeah.
We go to a store. I go there. I'm like, okay, we're going to get this. And they're like, "Oh, ice cream." I'm like, since you said it, guys, and you said it so nicely, I'm not going to get it for you.
I'm the opposite. I use him to get me stuff. So that's how I am. So we'll be going.
Oh, switcheroo.
Yeah, we'll go. And I'll be like, "Oh, I think you'll like this." And I'm like, "Oh, by the way, I think I'm going to get this too." So, and we'll do that. And his mom is always like, "Oh, it's like I got 2 kids."
Very nice.
Yeah. So that's how we do it.
I would love to be your kid.
I'm not mean about it, because most of the time it's like I already had something planned or we did something beforehand and now they're asking for a little extra. And I'm like, "God damn, I just took you fucking bowling and putt and now you want a toy?" I'm like, I wish I had that kind of. I wish I had that kind of dad.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I know. You just drove me drunk.
Yeah, I need to. Speaking of that, I need to
drink.
Hey, babies, you liking the show? Well, thanks. Leave a 5-star rating and a comment, please. Do you want to see the guys' faces? Well, they got YouTube videos. It comes out every Wednesday before the episode comes out on Friday. You can watch this podcast on any major platform you listen to. Rate 5 stars and comment. Thanks, babies.
But now I'm spending money on digital things like Nintendo Switch games and things like that. So that's where my money is going.
I do like the fact that like you go to Target with your son and, you know, get the toys and everything. That's what I do with my kids, or I take them to a comic book shop or a bookstore, like, and we'll look for stuff there. What is it, video game wise, you know, I let them do a half an hour. I don't let them have tablets while they're here. I know they have their tablets the entire time they're at their mom's. So I'm like, no, and they get maybe 10 minutes to half an hour of YouTube, and that's it. I'm crazy about that stuff because I've seen what it had done to me. I see what it does to other kids. And so like being able to go into a toy store, it's that, you know, the smell of plastic.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Just like, I know everyone's just like, well, that's what's causing all the pollution in our oceans. Well, not if you're like comic book nerds and just collectors like John and I. Like we're keeping that stuff. It ain't going anywhere. Now, mind you, I had to sell most of my collection, but
my stuff is in boxes, and when I do take them out, I keep the box. So I don't really throw the plastic away like that, unless it's something I know I'm going to be playing with on a regular basis, which poses this question for me. If there's any collectors out there that listen, do you find yourself playing with the stuff more than it's supposed to be on the shelf? Because I do that sometimes. I have something I really like, and I'm like, oh, I know I'm supposed to keep it in the box, but I'll take it out and I'll keep it. I just don't know, man. I'm like, I'm not selling this. I'm supposed to sell it, but I'm like, fuck this. I'm not selling this. So I have also found myself in a position where I have gone to Target and they have changed the game on toys there. So you have the kids section and they have a new section known as the collector's aisle.
Yep. Yeah.
And that really is kryptonite for me because like, every time
kids toys over here, and then if you're well, this is not everyone, but some of the stuff that I see there, it kind of reminds me, like, kids toys are over there. But if you're a real collector, 30-year-old virgin, this is it. This is it. This is where Mecca, friends.
Yeah, so that place has it, and also GameStop has it. Yeah, and it's bad for me because my bookstore where I work has it now, where they order stuff from Entertainment Earth and they put it up for display. And I find myself like, oh man, I could either buy this from Entertainment Earth or I can get a discount and just get it here right now. Yeah. And that's what I end up doing because I'm like, oh, this is without the hassle and stuff like that. I can just get it from here right now.
So Toys R Us was the biggest toy stores for all of us, right? But
that was the biggest competition for KB. So
I didn't feel I felt intimidated when I went to Toys R Us. Usually, like I would go to KB more often because it felt more intimate. I know it's fucking weird.
No,
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
I agree with you.
But I felt like I was in somebody's living room, whereas like Toys R Us, it was like intimidating. It's like, oh my God, it's so much shit here, and I don't have enough time to look at it all because, you know, you're on a time clock. Your parents don't want to fucking be there in the first place.
Yeah, some long-haired dude, like kind of skulletish, whatever, is like, hey, a kid can be a kid, and it's like, so this is what it's like to, you know, be a kid, you know, never grow up. The guy with the skullet.
Yeah, I know, with the vest on, with the vest with the polo shirt.
Yeah, but with KB, usually that was in a mall. Usually, right? I don't remember.
Yeah. KB didn't have any standalone. They were always attached to like retail stores, so they were like in the mall. I think their mascots was the two soldiers, like the two nutcracker-looking soldiers or whatever.
I think, was it one or two?
It may be one.
Well, my whole point was, in that situation, you can spend a little bit more time in that toy store because usually when it was in a mall, your parents are doing other things in the mall. But Toys R Us was just a singular toy store. So yeah, that's why I kind of felt anxiety, because if I didn't know exactly what I wanted, it was like, yo, it's like a producer in your ear, like, yo, you gotta go. We gotta go. If you ain't get nothing, we gotta go. But in the mall, I can be in there for hours because my mom would just, you know, not buy anything, but just, you know, shop and just look around. And then the one mall we had, Wonderland, that's now gone, like a lot of malls, Livonia. Anyway,
yeah, Livonia.
Yeah, Wonderland. Remember the arcade was there too. So it was like KB right across or very close to the arcade in Wonderland. Man, and then of course the food court was there.
Oh, dude. Yeah,
dude. You had everything at the mall.
Yeah,
and KB set it up. When you go there, you go get a toy. You could go play at the arcade and get some food at the food court.
Yeah, you go to the Cinnabon and you fucking jiggle your way over to A&W, and you do. After that, you got Sbarro, and then all of a sudden the security guard comes up to you like, "Dude, you gotta go. We're closed, and you're still fucking eating."
Yeah, they had orange juices there too, I think. So
the fountain drinks.
The fountain drinks, but it's amazing to me how toys are being created now, because you don't have these toy stores anymore like this. Like recently I've been reading about people who 3D print toys. So now what you can do is, if there's a toy you want, there's YouTubers who will put their information down there and they will 3D print an item for you, or you could go on Etsy and do it, and they'll 3D print the action figure that you want.
There's a bunch of toy makers on Instagram. Actually, I think we follow one where it's or Super 7.
Yeah,
they do their own set of toys now because it's an art form.
Yeah,
or they consider it an art form. Whereas like some of GameStop games mostly, but everyone's like it's digitized. They're moving over to NFTs.
Yeah,
they're doing that. They're getting into. They want to become a tech company, and I'm like, these are still viable companies.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I don't know.
Funko is doing the same thing. They're turning their pops into NFTs that are art pieces. Yeah,
it makes sense. I don't know if any of this stuff is really going to be worth it, but since it has its own, like technically the signature or blockchain on the blockchain, where it's like that is specifically for you, I just don't completely trust NFTs.
Yeah, we've had that discussion.
Yeah.
So I get you, man. If it just is what it is. But I tell you, dude, talking about this does take me back down memory lane. I remember Toys R Us. The Toys R Us in Detroit was on 8 Mile. And
off the freeway.
It was a big, so there was that one, and then there was a big one off of. It was next to a movie, AMC. It was next to AMC.
You're goddamn right.
Yep. So there was a Toys R Us there. And boy, I was hurting when they tore that down. I was hurting. Now it's like it comes back as a Halloween USA every Halloween. But it sucks when you see the ghost of these stores and what they used to be.
Oh, dude, I completely understand where you're coming from. For me, it wasn't so much. Well, the Toys R Us that we had by us ended up becoming a massive wine store. And it's just recent, or because it was abandoned. No one was using the building. So it was just empty for forever, like a decade. There was another building, and I actually showed my kids, and I'm like, this used to be one of Dad's favorite spots to go. And it was an AMC theater.
Yeah.
It was an AMC theater off of Shaner near Hall Road. And I actually saw Phantom Menace there.
Yeah.
And I just remember it was just like, it seemed like a really big Star Wars party, and it had like glass ceilings.
Yeah.
We would go there once they kind of AMC decided to close down, but it was still a theater. So they were doing like dollar shows, and still great. Still go and see movies there all the time. And then it moved down the street, but still that building has so much memories. And now it's a fucking like one of those weird television evangelical churches.
Yeah, it becomes one. Yeah, I don't want to get into that. But I tell you, the other thing too is that the one I was talking about was on 8 Mile and Van Dyke. That's where it was. So it was on the east side, 8 Mile and Van Dyke, next to an AMC. You had a Radio Shack in there, which is another place that had your remote control toys and things of that nature. And that one, Radio Shack, is now defunct. It's not what it used to be. And I remember they tried so desperately to update.
Didn't Shaq buy up a lot of those franchises in order to boost them up? Because I remember he was in those commercials 6 years ago. Shaquille O'Neal, former basketball player. And it seemed like he was trying to do what he's doing now with Papa Romano's, buy up a bunch of franchises and build them up. as opposed to what we're going to later talk about of the opposite that happened. That
with Toys R Us,
that destroyed these things. But it seemed like, at least on surface, that was Shaq trying to rescue. Or
Shaq's a really good businessman. And Pop Romano's was a decent pizza. They just had a fucking crazy CEO, not to say, crazy, racist CEO. And he got caught being racist, and fuck him. And Shaq's now CEO. So I'll eat Papa John's because of Shaq.
Look like you got Papa John's on your face. You can...
What, me? Do I have dressing? I'm trying to eat a salad, dude. I got done. Like, I literally... Okay, so I go to the gym. We're at the gym. I'm working out. I haven't lifted, like, really, like, gone for it in a while. And my arms, like, when we were getting back in there, my arms were shaking. Like, I was exhausted. And coming in to do this, I had my protein shake, which is mostly cum. And
that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. I was like, what is
that's just Caesar dressing, bro. I'm having myself a chicken Caesar. But yeah, no, it's people I guess capitalism or rich fuckers don't understand why we as people, middle class, working poor or whatever we are, have this relationship with some of these buildings. When they see a building, they see dollar signs. I get it. No, actually, I don't get it. For us, the memories are more valuable than any dollar bill or any cryptocurrency, whatever.
Yeah.
These things brought memories to us. Now, mind you, someone paid me $5 million and was like, I want your memories of KB Toys. Be like, fuck it. Go ahead. That's $5 million. Yeah, I'd sell out in a second.
I can make more memories somewhere else. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'll make fucking memories down the street that I don't know. That was going to be a prostitution joke, but it left me. Anyways, but the memories, like they can do with awkward laugh. They can do.
I heard you.
I'm just like,
Took me a minute to register.
No, I just like. These places are important for us. They developed our character. They kind of showed us who we were. I remember going to a fucking Barnes and Nobles, and now, mind you, I can't remember if this Barnes and Nobles is still open. They might have changed it into some other business. And if this is the route that we're going, like, this is the argument that I don't understand. Well, the internet, like the internet, you're able to get this stuff cheaper on Amazon. I understand that, but you're able to get it cheaper at other places too. And these brick and mortars are still viable, like these other companies are still viable. Why these ones in particular? And that's everyone's argument is like, well, Amazon, well, digitization of video games, but you're not giving these companies a chance to possibly progress like these other ones. Like that's kind of how I look at it. I'm like, these bring up great memories and then they're taken away by nefarious means. And I think it's nefarious. You could call it capitalism, but it is nefarious. And they wonder why we're mad about it. Fucking, I'll tell you why, because you just took away my childhood.
Yes.
And we do live in the past, maybe a little too often, our generation. Like we look at it, but we've had so much shit thrown at us. You have 9/11, you have the housing market crash, COVID, the Big Bang Theory, like all these things terrible happened to us in our generation. And
you ain't lying.
We just you a fan of that fucking show?
I just summed up my feelings with you ain't lying. Like everything you just said.
I would say that our kids are really going through it right now because there's always something going on. There's more than one shooting going on right now. I mean, we live in a society right now where violence and gun violence is become the norm, and people are still capitalizing on that.
Hey guys, if you like to see us in the flesh, we have video highlights of our episodes we release on every Wednesday before the new episode that comes out Friday. As always, you can catch this podcast on any major platform you listen to podcasts. Please make sure to rate us 5 stars and comment on how you're liking the show. After School Special Podcast.
It's this lady and she's like, "Hi, welcome to my vagina."
After School Special Podcast.
What robot pet starts out speaking a unique language but eventually speaks English. Gloopy? The fuck is a gloopy?
Podcast comes out every Friday. Toy stores in general, like the memories, and we were all kind of like, well, can we make that a full episode? Like, we could just list toy stores that are around. Well, John and I both did a decent amount of research, and luckily we didn't, I don't know, we're just like-minded people. He did KB Toys, and for some reason I did Toys R Us, and we didn't even say anything to each other about it.
Yeah.
And basically what happened is you have these insiders for, I don't know, like a company like Bain Capital.
Mitt Romney and Bain Capital bought the textile mill where Raymond had worked for 18 years, then shut it down.
I was really hard on my family. Finally, I got a job at a piano factory at half my old salary. And then Bain bought that company and I got laid off again. Next, I worked as a trucker, but then Bain came along, bought the trucking company, and I lost that job too. I then got hired part-time at an Orange Julius until Bain acquired that franchise and shut it down. Now, not the whole company, you understand? Just that one store. At this point, I said to myself, what the hell is going on here? Finally, I got a job at a shoe shine stand under an assumed name, working just for tips. But Bain somehow found out, bought the business, and moved it to China. That's when I knew. This is not a coincidence.
Each time Raymond McCoy got a new job, Mitt Romney and Bain Capital would buy the company, apparently for the sole purpose of laying him off.
Yep.
Who was also involved with Toys R Us, KB Toys, I believe Radio Shack. I know FAO Schwartz.
Yeah.
And why, like, my whole thing, and this is allegedly, this is an allegedly moment because I have to preface this. Bain Capital does stuff with a certain financial advisory board, and I honestly, it's Boston.
You would say that this company is the self-destruction of mom and pops.
This advisory committee, and real quick, and I know this is like a segue, but to go back to the last week's episode, it was an 8mm, the movie that I was talking about. It was 8.5. Oh, 8mm is Nicolas Cage movie about the snuff film.
Yeah,
and then 8.5 was the Criterion Collection.
I just thought
film.
maybe I saw the wrong movie. I'm like, I thought.
No, it was 8.5. It was Fellini. Oh, God, I hope I got that right. I don't know, man. There is some fucking dates. Anyways, this advisory committee, and I have to put allegedly in this, and the first name of the company, it was Boston. They have been connected with a couple other acquisitions, but they had discussed stuff not only with Toys R Us, KB Toys. And I read the article earlier, and this is off of Reddit. This is due diligence that was done by, and I want to credit the Reddit user Jumpster81, and the title of his little article, and I call it an article, Amazon, Bain Capital, and Citadel bust out the competition. More or less, this is called a bust out scheme. And I'm just going to discuss it a little bit. And then, John, I'm not going to mention anything about KB because I know you did a lot of due diligence in researching what you were talking about, and mine.
It's tied. So if you talk about it, it'll talk about both. So I figured go ahead and talk about it because I'm only going to be repeating what you're talking about.
I'm just saying Boston Advisory. That's what it says.
Boston Advisory Committee or something like that.
Yeah,
I thought that's what it was.
Boston.
Did you know that they invested in AMC Theaters and Artisan Entertainment?
Bain Capital?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And there is a reason for that. And the other thing too is there's a lot of allegedlys going on with that. Anyways, not this. So the Boston Advisory Committee, I think it's committee, had discussions with multiple companies, and you kind of see a pattern here. KB Toys, Toys R Us, Radio Shack, Mervyn's, which is kind of scary, Bed Bath & Beyond, which we already kind of know issues with that company. Let's see, AMC, also Blockbuster. What do most of these companies have in common is that they were on the outs, or they are out. AMC was close to possibly filing bankruptcy in 2020 because of the pandemic. And so what this company did with, in turn, Bain Capital
allegedly,
it starts, there's so much to this, but like you could say Amazon had a play in this because they're tied with the Boston Advisory Committee. Amazon had gotten these companies like Zappos, they bought them out kind of fair and square, and then they started doing this play. It was a bust out scheme. You get someone involved with Bain or the Boston Advisory Committee in order to do certain things. You cause, and so a bust out scheme or a plan, which is technically some of this stuff is illegal. So these companies were shut down, as far as I'm concerned, illegally. Identify a target, install or acquire inside man on the board of the company, maybe CEO or CFO, spread rumors about the target through the media, create a class action lawsuit against the company, fire up printers and flood the market with fake shares of the company, driving the share price through the floor. That is also called illegal naked shorting, which is, if you know what's been going on in the market, and just to tap into it real quick, with GameStop, with AMC, with BlackBerry, with all these companies that were shorted, more or less, these are naked shorts. They're not real short positions. They're not real shares. So the reason why these people are still invested in this is that these money makers, these market makers, like the Melvin Capitals and Citadels, they have these short positions in there. And when you close out a short position, you have to close it out for all the shares that you borrowed. Well, they also have to pay for the fake shares too. And thus why once they do that and all shares are put in, the share price goes up. So the reason for shorting a stock, just a quick play-by-play, the reason for shorting a stock is to keep it more or less where it needs to be. Otherwise, if you didn't short stocks, a company, say like Enron or something, you know, the price of their stock could go completely up if no one was there to short it and kind of bring it back down to earth. So like you can say a company makes shoes. Well, how much money did they make this year? Well, they only made like $3,000. Short the shit out of it because they're not doing anything. They shouldn't be on the market. So then they can be taken off the market. Well, they're using those means illegally. Sorry for the over explanation. Okay, anyways, I'll go back to 5. Fire up the printers and flood the market with fake shares of the company, driving the share price through the floor. Company either declares bankruptcy or is delisted from the exchange. Perform a leveraged buyout of the company. Busts it out, acquires other competition to capture and kill, and then the company is so saddled with debt it can no longer stand. Kill the company and let the wolves feed off the carcass.
What does Bain do? Bain's primary business is acquiring companies.
It's a group of outside investors who put their money together.
Well, I knew you had this business here, Davey.
Buy a company.
Investing in the companies, making them more efficient.
They buy profitable businesses. These are businesses that borrow money to finance their takeovers.
Vulture capitalism and profiting from worker layoffs.
Take over a company, squeeze it, load it with debt, fire people, make millions, and then be done with it.
It's a bust out. You get in debt to them, and when you can't pay them, they become your partners, and then they fucking eat through everything like fucking termites.
You're not the first guy to get busted out. This is how a guy like me makes a living. This is my bread and butter.
It kind of reminds me of that scene in Goodfellas when the guy, Paulie, takes over the restaurant business.
Now the guy's got Paulie as a partner. Any problems, he goes to Paulie. Trouble with the bill, he can go to Paulie. Trouble with the cops, deliveries, Tommy, he can call Paulie. But now the guy's got to come up with Paulie's money every week, no matter what. Business bad? Fuck you, pay me. Oh, you had a fire? Fuck you, pay me. Place got hit by lightning, huh? Fuck you, pay me.
It's not exactly the same, but it kind of reminds me of the same tactics that that character used. Like, you know, the quote when Ray Liotta's doing the narration, oh, you can't pay rent on time? Fuck you, pay me. But it's like kind of an inverse in a way. And what I mean by that is, so this company takes loans in order to acquire these bad businesses. But basically...
Well, these are not bad businesses.
Well, they're down on their luck, right? They're
down on their luck because of basically what I just said.
They short stock. Right.
They're naked shorting. They're
naked
lying
shorting.
about how many shares. And then sorry for interrupting because I'm gonna talk about the Toys R Us thing. More or less, this was done to Toys R Us. They declared bankruptcy in 2006. Guess who buys them out? Bain Capital. Bain Capital buys them out, and then from there, they're already saddled with like $9 billion of debt. Well, guess what they get to do? They get to take that money, and Toys R Us was a viable company. And they were not saddled with a ton of debt. They were making money every year, and it was progressing as it should have been. There really was no slump. Now, mind you, coming into like the mid 2010s, like your 2014s and 15s, there probably you would have started to see issues because of Amazon's prices compared to, but Toys R Us was one of the first companies to go online with toy buying.
Yeah.
So in 2006, Bain Capital purchases more or less, they're not even bankrupt yet. Bain Capital purchases them. They go bankrupt in 2017. They close all their stores in 2018. So basically, they made a bunch of changes. They were able to give themselves all bonuses, and a lot of the members of the board were Bain Capital members, or allegedly Bain Capital members. And they were able to just more or less saddle their debt on Toys R Us. A leveraged buyout, and the description of a leveraged buyout is Bain Capital did not have the money to purchase, say, a Toys R Us. They did not have the funds. So what they did with the bank, when they were trying to get a loan, they were like, well, Toys R Us is our collateral. Once we purchase Toys R Us, then we can pay you back, no problem, because it was a viable fucking company in 2006.
Right.
And then progressively more and more debt was saddled on to Toys R Us. Then in turn, 2018, and I don't know what day exactly, all Toys R Us is shut down. And now all you have are the ones that are in Canada.
And I read an article, you probably read this too, Aaron and John, in Rolling Stones 2012, they talked about Bain Capital. Did you read that one?
No, I did. I saw it. I did not read it. I don't know if there's more issues going on.
No, it kind of breaks it down what Bain Capital is and how terrible, not how terrible capitalism is, it's just how they're abusing the everything. And basically it broke it down to, it said, imagine a home buyer purchasing a house and making the bank responsible for repaying its own loan.
Yep.
And that's how it describes what Bain Capital did to Toys R Us and other toy stores like this and other businesses. So it was like, wow, I didn't think of it like that. That's weird.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That they're able to get away with that.
And these market makers also are a part of that as well, where they're the ones that are able to put these shares into dark pools, pull them out when they need them, or create them. It's more or less some fucking, like, I don't know. When I think of it, it's like some fucking old dude that's doing a little jig, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna put some more shares in there.
That's
and then
exactly
we're
how
gonna
it
make
is.
some money.
I was gonna say that your story is pretty much the history of what happened to KB Toys. Because KB Toys unfortunately got tied up with Bain Capital, and it ultimately led to their demise.
What year was this, John?
This was 2002.
So they learned from KB and then took what they learned and did it to Toys R Us?
100%.
Okay.
Because there were people attached to KB Toys that actually sued the board for KB Toys. The shareholders, some of the shareholders sued them because they knew that something was happening with the stock. Why is it going down?
Yeah.
And so they sued the board. I don't know if the board had executed, put more shares out there. And as soon as those shares went out there, they were able to take them and short them into nothing. And then, but see, the whole thing, cui bono, who benefits? Allegedly, a little bald man will say his name is Jose Bezass.
Jose.
No, Jefe Bezass. There we go. Jefe Bezass benefits. And I guess in turn with this is, but people don't really understand. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but people don't understand the ape movement. I brought this up multiple times. Retail investors got wise of what they were doing, and they went against the market makers. And now you can see, or at least with some, if you go on Reddit, you can see some of the videos on there. You know, we call ourselves apes, you know, to the moon, all that stuff. Just a quick explanation of that. And then what I have behind me, AMC GME, which I am personally, well, I don't think I would get in trouble for this, right? Like I own shares of AMC, GME, Bed Bath and Beyond. I also own shares of a mining company. Some people would call me stupid. No.
This is not a test.
Mr. and Mrs. Michael Jackson honeymoon in Hungary on Hard Copy.
Tough day, huh, kiddo?
We're doing fractions and math. And Gracie Gibson kissed me on the playground in front of everybody.
Yuck. Sounds like you need a bedtime story.
Mom.
With cart chases?
Cool.
When your day needs a little turnaround, Blockbuster has 9,000 ways to make it a Blockbuster night.
How about another story?
Yeah, I got one. With boys, kids, and girls.
You've made many friends on Thursday night. Now meet Ross.
You know, you probably didn't know this, but back in high school, I had a major crush on you.
I knew.
I always figured you just thought I was Monica's geeky older brother.
I did.
Oh. Do you think it would be okay if I asked you out sometime, maybe?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe I will.
Friends, Thursdays this fall on NBC.
I was gonna say, because we're kind of veering away a little bit. Yeah, so I wanted to bring up something. So
toys,
the bankruptcies of the bankruptcies and closures for KB, because it's tied into what Aaron is saying, but KB unfortunately got caught up in that as well. We talked about how pretty much Bain Capital did the practice with KB before they did the full-on dance with Toys R Us. And KB had to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, but it ended bankruptcy in August of 2005 with 90% of its ownership under PKBT Holding, an affiliate, Prentice Capital Management. Bain Capital had attempted to retain control of KB Toys, which was instead awarded to Prentice Capital by a bankruptcy judge. So through the bankruptcy emergency plan, Prentice Capital invested $20 million into KB Toys. George R. Staley, a former president of Toys R Us US and international units, was named KB Toys' new chief executive officer, because KB, and I didn't notice, tried to do a revival for a while.
Very short-lived.
Yeah, it was. It didn't take off as well as they would have hoped.
Same thing with Toys R Us within that amount of time after the bankruptcy, but I guess the Christmas time then was just so bad. Yeah, they just declared bankruptcy right after that. I think it was, I want to say it was 6 to 9 months after it declared bankruptcy.
Yeah, it says because of poor sales and its mall-based location, as well as competition, the company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on December 11, 2008. The chain began going out of business sales that month. At the time, the company had over 10,850 employees, including approximately 6,500 seasonal workers. The company had 277 mall locations, 114 KB Toy outlet stores, 40 KB Toy work stores, and 30 KB Toy holiday stores, for a total of 461. It was the largest mall-based toys retailer in the United States at the time, operating in 44 states, as well as Guam and Puerto Rico. It was also the second oldest operating toy retailer in North America, behind FAO Schwarz, before its demise. The store closing, as well as the termination of the company's website, were concluded on February 9th, 2009. So KB Toys brand and related intangible assets were sold to Stream Bank LLC to Toys R Us on September 4th, 2009, which at that time they probably didn't even see the writing on the wall.
They didn't. Nope, not at all.
for a reported $2.1 million because KB toy stores have been closed and liquidated the sales supply mainly to the company's logo, website, trademark, and other intellectual properties. Toys R Us was initially unsure of how to integrate the KB name into the business plan. Toys R Us had used KB Toys name on self-manufactured toys under the name KB Classic with the KB Toys logo. Now, I do want to mention this. Toys R Us wasn't totally clean. The reason why I say this is because Toys R Us was manipulating the market themselves. And in past, they manipulated the market with this toy store called Child's World. Child's World will have these sales where they would sell wholesale diapers and stuff like that. Because remember, Toys R Us and Baby R Us, they sold the baby stuff.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was Toys R Us would send in operatives to buy the stuff in wholesale by using the Panda dollars that Child's World was giving out for using for wholesale for their stuff. It wasn't technically illegal, but it was a bad business practice because all they were doing was buying up all their shipment and supplies from Child's World and then reselling it over at Toys R Us.
As much as I want to agree with you, John, this is where we sadly part ways. That is a business practice that's been done throughout generations. Like the dude down the street that's selling pizzas for pizzas. Of course, I go to pizza, or let's say go to chicken.
You hungry?
They're selling always, man. I had a fucking salad. Of course, I'm hungry. I want a goddamn steak. The person that's selling chicken nuggies down the street for $1 for a pack, and then I want all your chicken nuggets. Boom. And then I go down the street and I charge $5 a pack. That's $3 profit off of each and every one.
Yeah. I didn't say it was illegal. All I said was it was not.
It's a bad.
It's just a bad business practice. Now, just because it's bad doesn't mean that the law is being broken. It's just something that I remember coming up in our ethics class, and it was the question of business ethics. Would it be ethical for one business to do this to another business? And ethically, it's not okay, but logically, it's the best thing to do because what they're doing is they're increasing their profit by, in essence, going and buying the stock from Child's World. So I always found that fascinating. But Toys R Us, again, wasn't totally clean. They just knew how to play the game. And
not too well. They're not in business.
Yeah. I mean, they're not. Yeah.
Well, that's where it's like the legality of what happened to Toys R Us. Well, they're not clean in it. I guess for some reason I thought there was a connection to KB Toys, but like more or less what happened with Toys R Us technically, by all standards, is illegal because they naked shorted the stock. They created fake shares, which is illegal. Yeah. And that's where I guess is it right? No, what Toys R Us did was not right. And I guess we all realize now that I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Well, I'm sorry, we all grew up.
Yeah.
Toys R Us kids were. Any remaining Toys R Us kids were drug out bat and shot in the head.
Well, what's funny is that that's what the last tweet was from Toys R Us. I guess all the Toys R Us kids have grown up, and
all the ones that didn't got shot in the head.
No, that was left out of the tweet. It probably would have got marked. But yeah,
a lot of those KB toy stores from the mall, they turned into GameStop stores.
Yep.
And honestly, it kind of hit me at the right time because that's when I got more into games as an adult. So even though I wasn't playing with toys anymore, it was like, well, cool, GameStop's here. But then they started like running out of stores, and then finally, meme stock, the craze happened, and it kind of did it resurrect it, Aaron, or did it just stabilize it, or did it do anything?
It resurrected.
Okay.
Well, as far as maybe I'm biased when it comes to this. I will 100% agree. I'm biased because what Ryan Cohen, the new CEO of GameStop, is doing is trying to make it into a tech company.
Yes. I was going to say that. I think the only thing that saved them during COVID was that they changed their category from being a game store to being a computer store, which allowed people to come in, buy keyboards, and buy the things that they need for services. That's the only thing that saved them.
Really?
Had they not done that, they would have been closed.
I think they sell toys there too. Well, collectibles.
Well, because the reason why it was saved, one of the reasons, and that is definitely a reason, but when your share price goes from $9 to almost $400 a share, but GameStop also started getting into NFTs and started getting involved with the blockchain, different cryptos and whatnot. But I think it had more to do with the fact that the share price skyrocketed. That's what definitely kept them going, and that's what gave them the capital to become now what they're trying to be, a tech company.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that AMC happens, but I don't completely trust their CEO, Adam Aaron.
I would say that though they are gone, they are not forgotten for those who are collectors. I remember my fondest memory of Toys R Us, and this is right before they were on the brink. It was in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
I just got an opportunity. I just got out of the Air Force, active duty side, and I switched to the Air National Guard, and I just got a job opportunity to work at Mojave Airport down in Southern Cal. So I didn't know if I was going to get this job because this was working with older people that I didn't know. And we went, and my family went because if you know the logistics, it's 6 hours. So we all went to go for this interview to make a trip out of it. So we stopped at Toys R Us just for the fuck of it. And they called me. And after I had done the interview, I was like, I'm probably not going to get the job because they need somebody with a little more experience. I've only had military experience. And that's when they did the re-release of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Party Wagon. I was like, I want this car, but I'm like, I'm not going to get it because, why spend the money if I'm not going to get the job? And I got a call. And they were like, where are you at? And I'm like, I'm at Toys R Us looking at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Party Wagon. And they're like, go ahead and purchase it. Now you got the job.
Hell yeah.
So I remember getting it and running to my wife, and I'm like, I'm buying this. I just got the job. And she was like, hell yeah. And we bought it, and we went and had a steak dinner at Black Angus, which was a really nice steak restaurant. And I don't have that truck anymore because I had to sell it. But I had it, man. That was my first purchase or my third purchase in Ninja Turtle stuff when I started recollecting.
Yeah.
So I had that van, and it's something I wish I would have played with, but I didn't. So there you go. So that was my fondest memory of Toys R Us 2014.
I would say my fondest memory of Toys R Us, and it's not going to be KB Toys. There were a lot of good times at KB Toys. I remember getting those X-Men figurines when they first came out back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And the Wolverine, Colossus, and all that stuff. I remember that in KB Toys, and my mom was like, get them all. And so I got Colossus, I got Cyclops, I got Wolverine, I got Magneto.
Yes, buddy.
Those were mine. And then Toys R Us, right before we went to go see Phantom Menace, my mom was like, get some lightsabers. And so we grabbed the lightsabers. I was like, Mom, there's an A-Wing, like those miniature Star Wars toys. They don't have them anymore, but it was, I can't remember who made them, maybe Play School or something. Or it could have been, maybe Playmate, but it was the old,
Mattel?
They were so detailed.
Oh, Mattel is Hot Wings. Hot Wings. Hot.
Are we hungry?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Yeah,
Mattel is Hot Wheels.
Hangry. Yeah.
But it was like these, I'd say probably the size of my penis, right there. And
that's it.
And what do you mean? That's it? That's almost fucking 9 inches right there, bud.
You call that a knife? No.
And I remember getting it and then going to go see the movie and then, being severely disappointed. But, Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I went and saw it. When I saw Phantom Menace, it was with a cousin that I haven't seen in a long time. And that was our best time together going to see Phantom Menace, man. Yeah, so I know for some people hate it, but I just remember me and my cousin, who I hadn't seen in a long time, went to go see it, and that was our jam, man. It was the Darth Maul scenes.
Mm-hmm.
He really took it for me.
Yeah.
I like Darth Maul.
Same here.
Yeah. Well, Don, what was your fondest memory of the toy stores?
KB Toy Store, early 90s, during Christmas time, I believe. It was one of those nights when I was a kid. It was magical. It was snowing. It was like a snow globe. Like, it was like I was living in a snow globe. Wonderland Mall in Michigan, like I said earlier, Livonia. We went there to see a movie, which was Dracula. Bram Stoker's Dracula with
yes, dude. Yes.
It was,
how old were you?
Was that 92? So I had to have been 8 to 10. Either 92 or 94. When did that come out?
Damn, you weren't kidding. Your mom was taking you to everything.
Yeah, remember he said his mom was a road dog. So
yeah.
I mean, I thought, that is crazy, isn't it? But and I often do this. I might be combining nights, but I believe this to be true. Went to the mall in order to watch the movie, but while we waited, because I think we went there early, we got tickets, and while we waited, we shopped. And it was one of those nights. It was snowing. It was like the thick snowflakes. And that was in the backdrop. We were still poor, but for some reason, I not only got one Tiger handheld games. You remember those old ones where
yes,
with
dude.
the LCDs? Yes. I got the Street Fighter 2 one, and I think I might have gotten the Power Rangers one. It was like, or Mortal Kombat. It was something. But I got 2 of them motherfuckers that night. And it was like my birthday, or it felt like it. And it was before Christmas. And it was like, damn, I don't know what I did to deserve that shit. But I remember I got those 2 toys. And while we waited, I got to play it. And then we went to the movies. But I know I remember going to KB Toy Store in that mall. And just like, wow, man. That's when handheld games started to really gain some steam. And I remember playing those fucking games before we saw the movie. Then I saw the movie. I loved the movie. I don't remember being scared. So that's one memory in the 90s. Like KB Toy Store, man. That shit was so fucking magical. Like you said earlier, the smell, the cheap carpet, all these Yeah, the cheap retro carpet where it's like the multicolor ones, and you can tell they didn't vacuum until like the end of the night. You still had like gum and trash stuck to it because all these fucking kids, including me, just, threw shit everywhere, and the parents didn't give a fuck. But I remember that night was so fucking great. It was like magical. And then Toys R Us, every birthday, I always got to pick out a toy. Go to Toys R Us, pick out the toys. I remember one time I was into science as a kid, so I got like a science kit. It was so fucking great. Science kit. I was a little bit of a nerd. And then later on, graduating 5th grade, my grandmother took me to Toys R Us, and I got to pick out toys. But you can never get those memories back. Like you said earlier, like I don't know what these kids have outside of Amazon packages sitting outside of their fucking doorstep, and I guess every day is like Christmas. But
it takes Santa away because every day is like the Amazon person is showing up. So
I mean that and that's like adults' way of like like it's every time I come in this motherfucker and I'm saying my own house, like I see a fucking Amazon package for my wife, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, like what did we get now? Like, we could just go up the street and get the shit, but
that's how I am. It's like, let's just go and get it. Like, but the thing with that is too, like the convenience of like ordering food. Man, I could fucking DoorDash all day long. I fucking love that shit, but it's so expensive.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, of course they're going to upsell it, or not upsell it, but well, yeah. Like even getting liquor, because you can get liquor now in Michigan. Like, tequila. Yep. I'm just using that example. Is normally $13 in the store, but if you do it on like DoorDash, it's like $18 for the same bottle. Yep. That's not even including the delivery. But as far as like, I don't know, what's the new toy stores for like adults or kids? I guess GameStop,
Target.
Yeah. There's no more Sears, or it's like Not really.
It's not really Sears, but
No.
yeah.
Which I can't attest to, but I don't know if the same situation happened.
It depends on where you're at. Like, there's Brainy Toys, which is like toys for young geniuses and things like that, or Brainy
nerds.
Brainy
nerds.
Yeah.
Where does your son go, John? Or where do you go? What am I saying? Where do you go, John?
I go to Target.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I go to Target, man, because Target has everything that you can look for. And those toys are not cheap. And then when they have these special events for collectors, like the Haulathon, which you have to really know what's going on to be a part of that. The Haulathon, you get something every Friday. That was something that I really enjoyed. Like, every Friday there was something special out, and you had to be the first one there to get it. And it's nice because I'm around a bunch of people who don't give a damn about that, so I get free access to it.
I always wonder with this influx of superhero movies and movies that they make toys from. I wonder why didn't the movies and the toy chains kind of come together? And what I mean by that is, when you go to the movies, you go to the concession stand and you get your candy, your pop, and now you get your liquor, you get your food. Why not sell the toys?
I've always thought that about the video purchase. Like, if you like the movie, when you get out, why am I not able to buy the digital right then and there?
Or even past movies. Right. Like, yo, my kid is coming to see, I don't know, what's a kid movie nowadays? Toy Story or whatever. Yeah. Or X-Men. Like, yo, have the toy there. Because I mean, if that's smart business, like, I'm an adult taking my kid, Aaron, John, you're taking your kids, I'm more likely going to pay for a toy that my kid is about to, for a movie.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
I don't know about that. I think I would be fucking pissed. Like, why the fuck you have this here, man? But I can barely afford these movies.
I agree.
You want me to buy a fucking
But that
toy?
might, I mean, in collusion, but in collusion with some of these toy stores,
Target does that, though. Target does that because they already have the Jurassic World Dominion toys out already.
Oh yeah, that's always been happening.
Yeah,
but he's saying, like, at the theater, like, if they had T-Rexes lined up as you're getting your fucking
but not only that, to
your milk duds,
to help a local or a major chain. I'm saying, like, KB would have came into contact with these major movie chains like AMC, like, hey, can we rent out space in your theater, or not theater, but your complex, and sell these toys here? Aaron, you got something to say?
No, I was going to say, it sounds like a good business move on paper, but I don't think it would be a good business move. Because
for whom?
Well, if it was KB Toys and whatnot, that means they're buying rental space because they have to come up with some deal as to what's going on. So they're going to either lose money in some way, shape, or form, because all that product is not going to sell. I can assure you, not every parent is frugal, but sure as shit, they're already paying. Like, you go to the movies, shit's expensive, and then you're gonna buy a toy also with that.
Yeah, that's gonna
to
be.
Me, it
can
just
I make a quick modification on that? What if you can buy a toy in something similar to what Detroit Land Vending is doing? By the way, hey, Detroit Land Vending, like, what about in a vending machine? Like, what if instead of renting out space for, like, a stand, maybe have a vending machine filled with toys that's in affiliation with some of these toy stores? That could help. Or you buy a toy with your ticket. I don't know. I'm just trying to.
Oh, they already do that. They already do that.
It's kind of hard. I get what you're saying, but it's kind of difficult to get that into fruition because, let's say it's a hot movie, you're gonna have a rush to that machine to want to buy that product. And then a rush means that you're going to have people fighting over these items, and then you have to worry about getting to your car with it and all kinds of shit. So,
you think someone's going to get fucking stabbed for it?
Oh, dude, it can happen.
But wouldn't that have helped? I know it's short-sighted or it's far too late for this, but KB is gone and Toys R Us is gone. But that is some of the things that might have helped.
Well, they do special, like, so what is it? AMC was doing the Batman cowl, popcorn, which was pretty fucking cool, but I didn't get to have one. But they do stuff like that where it's like toys. They'll bring toys in for like if you buy a popcorn, you'll get a Spider-Man koozie where he's holding on to your cup and whatnot. And
but that's AMC's.
Yeah.
Right. I'm saying
along with Marvel, because then you have multiple people that you're dealing with. You're dealing with, and this is not like you have KB Toys, Marvel, and then you also have AMC. So that's you have to get these three companies
plus the toy
to agree.
Maker, like a Mattel or
and the vendor. You're saying the actual vendor. So why? I guess the KB Toys thing or Toys R Us. Why wouldn't they just go directly to the vendor? Mattel, all these other places. That's where it's like it would be cool to bring Toys R Us in there. It makes more sense to have a Toys R Us next to an AMC.
And it depends on the manufacturer too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like manufacturing company.
And you have an AMC right next to a Toys R Us. That makes sense. It's like having a fucking cookie store next to a cannabis store. Fucking cannabis store. I sound like my fucking grandfather.
Dope. The dope store.
Yeah, the dope. Go get some dope, you dope.
You dope.
But that would make sense. Like that's why I never understood. My daughter, she's a Girl Scout. She's a brownie or whatever, Daisy, the younger version of a brownie. I told her, I'm like, why don't we go set up next to a Hyatt weed store and we'll just wait for people to come in and then we'll have cookies ready to go. But I think that's probably like a legal thing too. You can't have kids.
Well, you got to make sure. Yeah, I don't know how far kids can be in front because my son is a scout, so I don't know how
selling popcorn.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know how far they can be in front of a store like that,
like a liquor store, anything like that.
Yeah. You can have a good location because it's not so much. I don't worry about
kids in front of Walmart, in Myers. Like, they sell
that's
shit.
fine.
I mean, they sell liquor in there, though. I mean,
once they federally legalize it, they're going to have it in Walmarts and fucking all those stores. What is it? A Wawa. You can get a couple edibles and whatnot, or your local other supermarchés.
A supermarket is fine. That's what those classify as. But
I just think you would 100% make a killing.
Well, my whole point was
if you were in front of
my whole point was, well, how could we have prevented like Toys R Us or a KB or future Toys R Us or a KB from just
you couldn't
getting taken over by
the writing was on the wall because of the greed.
Yep. So in summation, we didn't want to grow up. We wanted to be Toys R Us kids, and greed took that away. See you later. It's After School Special Podcast.
Thanks for the support. Keep subscribing, guys.
Yes,
it really, really helps.
You like videos, hit the bell, to get updates on YouTube. Please rate, subscribe. Rates help, even if it's at this point like rate. Just tell us, hey, do you like this? Do you like that? Like our posts, like you guys, all the people that have been supporting us the entire time as we continue to move forward with this podcast. You give us butterflies in our belly.
Yeah, that's a good way to sum it up.
Yeah.
That's a good way to sum it up.
Completely 100% appreciate every single one of you that listens. Like, we keep getting subscribers on YouTube. We are hopefully doing something right, and we hope you enjoy it. If you don't, sorry. Hey everyone, it's Aaron from After School Special Podcast. Like what you hear so far? But don't forget to subscribe and download the show on whatever platform you get your podcasts. And just a friendly reminder, we have new episodes out every Friday. Thanks for listening, everyone. I'll make fucking memories down the street that I don't know. That was going to be a prostitution joke, but it left me. Anyways, but the memories, like they could do with awkward laugh.